As Gopalakrishnan, Executive Co-Chairman at Infosys and President-designate at CII, joins in with his budget expectations. Chris, despite the slew of reforms, the economy is staring at 5% growth. That's the worst in a decade. What can the Finance Minister do in this budget to put India back on the high growth path?
This is the most important priority as far as I'm concerned, to get growth back to 7-8%. The Finance Minister will have to look at fiscal prudence, will have to look at encouraging investments, will have to look at savings, will have to look at growth through important projects that have been stalled, get them going. So there are several options that are possible. He can also look at spending by public sector undertakings. They have significant cash, and he can look at encouraging them to spend some of that. He can also look at some disinvestment. So there are many options that are available with the Finance Minister.
You know, we're always stressed on the need for a stable and transparent tax regime. Are you hopeful of more clarity on tax laws in this budget?
We are very glad that the Finance Minister has given clarifications on GAR, has given clarifications on some of the retrospective amendments, has given clarifications on some of the issues related to software services sector. So in that sense, I think some issues have been addressed. Industry requires a stable tax regime, a long-term tax regime, such that they can make investments in a predictable environment. So it is important for the government to provide that long-term predictable environment for investments. Of course, this is only one aspect, but the Finance Minister, the government also needs to make sure that the policies that are there, the incentives are there for investments.
Okay, let's talk about the IT sector as well, since you're a tall leader from that sector. What are your expectations specifically from an IT and a BPO point of view?
We're glad that the government has clarified certain issues facing the software services sector, the IT sector. Of course, now it has to be implemented on the ground. Having said that, there are a couple of issues that still impact the industry. One is regarding transfer pricing, especially for multinationals. Second is the minimum alternate tax, which impacts the SEZ as well as the infrastructure sector. This is something, again, if you want to give a long-term perspective, a long-term stable environment for the industry, this is something the government should look at.
You also mentioned transfer pricing. How big a concern is that, especially for IT MNCs who contribute, of course, a significant chunk to IT exports?
The multinational corporations contribute about 30% of the exports that are going out of India, and hence it's a very, very important component. It's a large job creator today, and hence to give them clarity, to give them predictability, to give them the confidence that they can get advanced ruling and things like that, I think is very, very important. And if there are any disputes, I think we need to resolve them very quickly, so that these issues are put behind us rather than dragged on through the courts over many years.
Krishna, there's also talk of possible higher tax on the super rich. And experts, though, believe that such a tax may not necessarily boost revenue collection significantly. What's your sense? Do you believe it could hurt the sentiment of corporate India?
First of all, I think we have to look at broadening the tax base. About 3% of people today pay taxes. I think we need to see whether we can broaden the tax base, fix any loopholes there are, and get more people to pay taxes. And that's how we can increase the tax revenue. Having said that, if there is a clear case to tax the high net worth individuals, I'm okay with that, as long as the government has looked at other sources of revenue. Government has looked at creating a stable regime for investment, has looked at all other options that are available, and then if this is a last option, then I'm okay with that.
Mr. Gopalakrishnan, many thanks for taking time out and really talking to us about what you're expecting from the budget this time round.